All right. All right, so this morning we're talking about holding space and what holding space means within our bodies, for ourselves, and holding space for others. So everything that we talk about, it's for not only others, but ourselves as well. And probably ourselves first, and then others. So what does holding space mean? Holding space means, first of all, that we have arrived here on this earth whole and perfect. And that throughout our journey, no matter where our journey takes us, we remain that way. But along the way, right, we often forget, or we close, and we keep ourselves held, or forget to hold the space. So that's the first thing. The second part of holding space is remembering and knowing that all beings have arrived here perfectly and whole, and allowing them the time and the space, or holding space for them, so that they can have the time and space within themselves to figure it out. In other words, not approaching with judgment or desire upon someone else, but allowing them that time and that space, respecting that they are whole and they can figure out how to do that. That's a hard one, right? That's that sitting back, that leaning back, and extending to them the thoughts, the prayers, the wishes, and trusting that they will get there on their own, trusting in their divinity as well. So how do we do all this? We do it by being present, by coming into ourselves and experiencing the moment as it is, and allowing space to be held consciously and intentionally. When we hold space, we open our heart. When we hold space, we open our heart. And we actually do this on a daily basis, probably more than we realize. So part of developing this practice, because holding space is a practice, so part of developing the practice is recognizing when we do it. And how do we do that? We come back to the present moment. We have to be aware that that's what we're doing. So I can probably guarantee that each and every one of you have held space for yourself or someone else or both already this morning. It only takes a thought, even a thought. So that's the beautiful thing. But you have to keep remembering. It's remembrance to keep coming back to doing that. And how do we do that? Well, we focus our attention. And that's what we do here in yoga, on our mats, and in meditation. We focus our attention. So it's all coming back to the same thing. It all comes back to the second Yoga Sutra by Patanjali, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. I really like that one because I can say it, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. And it means the cessation of the mind. It's the training of the mind. It's stopping the mind from wandering away and running down a dark path, or getting ahead of you and into something that isn't even quite there yet. So this all takes us again back to the whole idea that yoga is the practice to prepare us for meditation. And Desikachara says, yoga is the ability to direct the mind toward an object and sustain focus without distraction, which is again what we would call meditation, right? So I love how it all keeps coming back to the same circle, and it all keeps filtering back around, but it gives us a new perspective to look at things. holding space for everything and everyone with no desire and no judgment. So that can get really hard. No desire, no judgment, whether it be a sunset or quarantine, whether it be love or death, babies or dragons, with no judgment and no desire. That's holding space. So then we apply that all into our bodies, and we feel those places from time to time, right, where we're not holding space. Those are the kinks, we might say, the glitches, the sticky parts. Those are the parts that really call our attention, and that's where we have come into our body and we have not held space. So today we're going to move and we're going to breathe very slowly, and we're going to stay in some places, and we're going to look to find the space that's there and find where there isn't space and see if we can remain and allow our bodies to open up with a little more space. So we're going to be pretty still today. So I invite you just to come onto your mat. We're also going to move in different directions with our mat, so just let go of the idea of having to be pointed one particular direction on your mat. Also remember that if you get lost, it does not matter where you go. We all hold space very differently, right? I'm holding space differently today than I was yesterday. So what's really the very most important is that you find a place where you notice something, where you notice you have some space, and maybe at the same time a place in your body where there isn't space. And then you just settle in and let the breath and the mind come together and see if those two spaces can't join together, where you have space and light and that place where it feels like you don't. So we're going to start first just with our left leg out to the side, our right heel tucked into the center. And when you get to this place, we're going to roll forward so you can get up on top of your sit bones. In doing that, you get a little more space to come out of and work down into the hips rather than in the low back. So from that place, again, 1/2 to 3/4, maybe not even that far, we're just going to walk our hands straight forward of our right foot. The left toes are up towards the sky, and just go to that very first place where you feel something. And then just close your eyes there and breathe. Head can hang. It can really be in any particular position that you like. And you're just going to breathe here. And as you breathe, first notice in your body where it feels good. Where does it feel long and bright and spacious? You know, even if that is right now in your toes. Because it's going to be very clear to you quickly, right, where it doesn't feel good. So let's start with first where it feels good. And that's where you're holding space. So now breathe into the feeling of where you're holding that space. And let that feeling spread into some of the other areas of your body. And maybe you even picture now that feeling of where you hold space as a balloon. And as you breathe, that balloon slowly begins to expand. And it's a balloon that can go around ribs, that can go under knees. It's a balloon that is very fluid and can help fill your whole body. So when you come to a place that feels as though the space is a little tighter, a little smaller, breathe into that. And you can stay in this first place as long as you want. But when you feel ready, just very gently, slowly walk yourself back up. And then we're just going to rotate ever so slightly to the right so that our hands now are on either side of our right knee. And we're going to walk right back out just like we were before. Again, start slowly and let yourself build in. And notice this small shift just from the center of our body to a quarter of the way over to the right. And notice the changes that brings in the space in your body. Breathe spaciousness beyond the places that you currently hold space. And not to rush you in any way. You may find yourself 2-3 places behind me, and that's okay. But I want to give you options in case you're ready to move. So we'd walk back up and walk ourselves over to the right even further. But as we walk ourselves to the right, try and keep your shoulders square to the floor. So you may find you don't go down nearly as far in this direction. So shoulders are going to work to stay as square as possible. Left hip working to stay towards the floor as much as possible, but if it pops up a bit, that's okay too. And notice how adding this twist changes it once again. Same approach. Find where you have space and let that area amplify first. And then go ahead and breathe into the other places in the body. So you can see some places are probably more challenging than others. Then we walk back up and we're going to stay over here this far to the right. But now we're just going to bend our left knee back behind us so that our left knee kind of touches our right foot. Just in a way that's comfortable for you. You can bend that leg as much as you want. Have it more straight or more tucked in. And then we're going to come right back to that last one we did. And see if you can walk a little further into the twist over to your right and lower a little deeper. One small change, and notice the difference. Can you feel space? Can you breathe space? Good. Then walking your hands back up once again, keeping the legs just as they are. We're going to walk the hands back towards the front of wherever our body is, back towards over the front of that right knee. And then we're just going to slide the left knee right back behind us and let yourself come up square on your hips. So now we're either in a pigeon or a swan pose. Right knee can be on the outside of your right wrist, or if it's on the inside, that's fine too. Notice which one brings you space, and you can try it both ways. And then we'd walk ourselves forward. And breathe here. See if you can direct the breath to bring space beyond the obvious places, beyond your hip, your knee, your ankles, maybe into your fingertips and the back of your neck, maybe into your shoulders. And then eventually we'll walk back up. Don't rush on my account. Take your time. When we walk back up, we'll lean over onto the right sit bone, just so we can draw the left foot forward and come to a comfortable seated position. And just close your eyes here. And just notice the difference between the right side of your body and the left. Holding space is the intentional knowing and believing in the divinity within and beyond. It is trusting. It is allowing yourself to be vulnerable, to remove the shields of armor, and to expand your bright light, to open your heart. Good. So moving as slowly as possible, we'll open the right leg out to the side. We'll take a moment to intentionally rock up on top of our sit bones. And then slowly start to walk forward. And notice as you go, again, the difference between the right and the left side. Where is the space already present? And where can you invite it in? As we grow in the practice of holding space within ourselves, we grow in the practice of holding space for others as well. So as you breathe and feel here on your mat, you open the door and the space for others. As you're ready, you can slowly walk back up. So we're going to do this same series we just did on the other side. So if you get to a point you want to move ahead of me, that's fine. And if you want to linger behind, you know that's fine as well. Now we just rotate over the left knee and come back to the same idea. How do you know if you have created more space? Feel for that. See if you can feel the space appear in a way that brings a softness, a melting, an invitation. And then from here, we'll walk ourselves back up. Rotate over to the left, a little deeper. This is the one that's probably going to be the most challenging. You might not go quite as far. Try and keep the shoulders square to the floor. You may not want to stay as long, and that's okay. And yet for others, this may be their favorite place. Sometimes it's the hardest places in life that bring the greatest opportunity for growth and discovery. Because it's in those places we can feel the openings maybe more clearly. So once you're ready and you come on up from that, we'll bend that back knee so that the back knee now, the back thigh is connected with the left foot. And then we'll rotate even deeper over to the left. And no matter what it is that's arising for you, whether it be sensation or thought, take a breath, give it some time, be present without desire and without judgment, and notice what happens. Beautiful. When you're ready, slowly walking back up. And now this time the legs stay as they are, and we just rotate back to center. And then we slide the right leg back behind us, coming into our pigeon or our swan. Giving yourself a moment to explore, and then easing your way down for greater exploration. Letting go of judgment or desire. At this time in our lives, we're becoming very practiced of that. Letting go of judgment and desire. I'm sure many of us have a desire to go beyond the boundaries of our homes. I'm sure we have desires to do all kinds of things. But allowing yourself to be content, peaceful, appreciative of simply being right here, being present. And without rushing, but eventually we'll come back up and make our way into seated. And as you come to seated, or wherever you are in this moment, notice as much as possible about the interior of your being, about the physical sensations within your body, the ones that are loud in discomfort, the ones that are soft in vibration. And perhaps you even notice the interior process of your mind. Is it chattering on thought? Is there a glimmer of spaciousness within the mind? Without desire, without judgment. holding this space. Just as if you were to hold your empty hands and to hold the energy and essence of love within them. Holding space. Let your long, deep exhale signify to your nervous system that we prepare to move again. Very slowly moving, bringing the soles of your feet to the earth so that you can very slowly begin to roll down onto your back. As you come all the way down onto your back, hug your knees into your chest gently and breathe here. Feel the spaces. Slowly letting the knees start to travel to the left, just to a place that you start to feel sensation. And then let them draw back to center and travel to the right. When you are ready and the knees come to the center, just lower the left knee down, sole the left foot to the floor, and hug the right knee just slightly deeper. And then letting that knee start to circle. As the knee moves through the circle, is there a part of the circle that holds more space than the other? And eventually pausing in the rotation. And starting to lift the right heel towards the sky, but keeping the bend in the knee, keeping the thigh drawing into your chest. And then we're going to let that leg, the right leg, open out to the right, using your hand and your elbow as a kickstand to catch that leg. You can even let the left knee here curl in towards center. Or Or you can explore with the left knee opening out to the left. When you're ready to move on, be sure the left knee is pointed back towards the ceiling. As you bend the right leg in, bend the right knee back into your chest. And then slowly release the right foot alongside the left. Be present to the difference between the right and the left. And then hugging the left knee in, draw it in close, and then let it release away and start to make the circles. When you feel satisfied with the circles, open the left leg out to the side. Right knee can tilt into the center of the body, or right knee can turn out away to the right. Breathing space in without desire or judgment. Knowing truly that we have arrived whole and will remain whole, no matter the journey. Simply focusing the attention of your mind and allowing yourself to be present to the divinity within. Drawing that left leg back in and bringing the soles of both feet to the earth. Extending the right leg forward all the way the length of your mat and the length of your body. Taking a deep exhale, signifying to the right side of the nervous system complete relaxation. And then sliding the left leg forward, the length of your body and your mat. Signifying to the entire body, the entire being, a sense of relaxation and rest. Take this time to rest completely, to feel your body, to feel your breath, to continue to create space. Space within yourself, space between the thoughts in your mind. And allowing space for others. As you rest here, I invite you to envision all beings everywhere filled with space of their own divinity. Without judgment and without desire. Simply present to this divine nature.